Okay, so I thought I'd bring this up. So this is another installation that I've done. So this is for Voltronic inverters. Now, Voltronic inverters are basically exactly the same as MPP inverters, the 5048s, etc., right? And Axperts and Infini, they all are. I'm not going to go as far as say generic branding, but it is pretty damn close, yeah. And what I noticed is that there's some things that are really quite irritating. So if you use things like Watchmon, a load of other bits and pieces, there's not a clean interface for knowing how much production, grid usage, this, that, and the other, all the metrics basically, and also some point of the control. Very little. And it seems you're shoehorned into one point. You can't really do much with it. And then you might have one of those inverters, the MPPs, Voltronic, whatever, and you can't get that piece of equipment to talk necessarily to your battery BMS, right? So let's go another way around. All right. So what I've got fitted here. These are 2 times Voltronics. They're 5 kilowatts a pop, so it's got 10 kilowatts of inverter. They can both have a separate feed on solar, so that's 2 solar arrays, right? I think each solar array will do up to about 3.5 kilowatts, but we're only using one solar array connected to it. What we've actually done, however, is we've used lithium batteries. Okay, so a similar setup with the BMW batteries. What you need on anything which is lithium, because it's not voltage based, what you need is a shunt there to record the data backwards and forwards. So the good news is this data will record not necessarily a BMS, but what it will record is your shunt usage via your, in this case, a Victron V Direct. Okay. Right. So what does that enable us to do? Load up. That enables us to have something like this. So this is something called Solar Assistant. Now, Solar Assistant is the same as Home Assistant. They've just tidied it up and done it very nicely for you. And it is basically Home Assistant. It's just a prettier, nicer version, pre-laid out. You pay one-off fee for, I think, if I remember rightly, lifetime connection. So, but it's not subscription. You actually own the software. You own everything. So it's not necessarily a subscription. Put it that way. And you don't have to. It's not over the internet. So I'm viewing this by remote over the internet. But this doesn't necessarily mean that it can't run local area network. It also runs local area network. Okay. Again, this is I would probably say if I had to choose between Watchmon and having these types of graphical displays, and then the more displays go on and I can remotely view this from anywhere, why would I want to use Watchmon other than for the setting up procedure, right? So that's how I look at it in this way. Again, you just want very simple, one hit, one button for things like this. Okay, utility first, solar battery utility for, and then 30 minutes. These are all the kind of things that you want. You don't need a load of other data. But the very key thing is, so we've taken what is effectively very cheap solar inverters and ended up with what can be used as effectively an off-grid capability. Okay, so this might be just a general idea for everybody to also look at. So hopefully, and I know there is hardly anything anywhere on Solar Assistant, but I can tell you firsthand, very good, very efficient, never had a problem at all with it, and it still stands completely standalone to your system. Okay, so there is no problems in Solar Assistant which then affects your off-grid. It is secondary, put it that way. Okay, so even on the batteries alone, they'll start to give you information, voltage, temperature, if you have it connected and things like that. And it all works very seamlessly. Okay, these are the kind of things that can make the difference between an easy job and a really hard going. Okay. Again, similar kind of things. I'm just showing very quickly what is the kind of information that gets displayed. Because again, a lot of people, they have these MPP inverters, they don't have them necessarily, or trying to find ones that can work in parallel. So you can parallel, well, I think it's like 13 or 12 of these, say 5 kilowatts together. So it's a ridiculous amount. But, you know, does the software do it? I know it'll do it for 2, I don't know 13, but it's something you would want to find out. And again, you just want to know straight off, is it connected to the grid? Is it in solar and battery mode? Or is there a fault? That's all you want to know. Okay, and that's why I said these are the kind of metric data that become a lot nicer to kind of view and see with ease. Okay, you can have it on your iPad, hang it on your wall, and see it every day. All right.